Welcome to my van, and this is a Ford Transit from 2000, a middle wheelbase, high top. On the outside we can have here the water tank. We fill it here, so it's out of the way, it's just got nice. This is when we need shore power. Here in the back we basically have some storage. We keep stuff. Here is where we have the batteries and the inverter. We have 200 amp hours batteries, and we have 1500 watts inverter. We're coming inside. We have swivel seats. Have an L structure seating, which we can basically pull out and make a bed out of. The pillows are stuck here with Velcro, which is a nice way of keeping them away and safe. Solar charger. Here we have some storage. This is where we keep our clothes. This is the circuit boards. These are basically stuff that my father had that we used for this. This is for the 220, so AC power. This is for the DC power. Series of relays. This is the alarm. We have a GSM controlled alarm, which is currently off. This is a smart reader for the battery power. This is for the heater. We have a Webasto thermotop, which is being installed at the moment. It's still not quite working. We have power sockets, 12-volt power socket here. Soap dispenser, which is one of those little things that it's very small, but it's just a quality of life improvement, makes a big difference. So we have here the sink with cold and hot water. For hot water we have extended the engine water circulation system to come all the way to the back, and we have here what's called a calorifier, which has basically a coil that the hot water passes through and then heats up the water in this reservoir. So that gives us about 7-8 liters, I think, of really hot water when we drive, which is really nice. This is where we keep some pots and pans. This is a second stove that we store here. One is fixed. Most of the time we only need one, but when we want to cook something else, then we put the other one here. This is a simple stove. It takes these little small cartridges. It's quite practical, you can get them almost anywhere. This is an extractor for the fumes when you're cooking. Here we have some extra storage, which is a bit of a mess, obviously. This is where we usually keep food related stuff. And here we have the table that pulls out. It's part of the Portuguese regulations that if you have a camper you have to have a fixed table. So that's how we basically implement it. And here we have basically cutlery and dishes and all sorts of stuff like this. For these we use these locks, which are not the most practical ones, but for the other doors we use the push-in ones, which are much better. Here's the fridge. This is a normal house fridge, so it's AC power. It's connected to the inverter in a way that the inverter switches on automatically when the thermostat triggers. So we don't need to have the inverter on all the time, only when the fridge switches on, which is usually once an hour for 10 minutes or so, so that's really practical. Vent, which can be switched on in either direction to pull or push the air. This is the alarm. It makes a lot of noise, so the advantage is if somebody breaks in, they will have to withstand the really high volume of an alarm, and hopefully they will leave, we hope, before they can find our stuff. This is the bathroom. We have kind of a full bathroom. Shower. We use these 5-liter containers for the shower. We fill them up with hot water in the sink, and this way we're only consuming a limited amount of water, because for us showering in a van is a luxury. We don't want to be spending our main water tank on showering. We have a secondary 20-liter tank there also that we can use if you run out of water, and the classic chemical toilet. It's a portable potty that we just take out. It's fixed, so there's no problem of driving, but then we take it out when we need to empty it. The shower is basically a portable shower that we just put on the container when we're using it. The cool thing that, again, one of those quality of life improvements we have is that we got this little shower base, which basically we take it out when we shower, which means that then when we're using the toilet we're not wetting our feet, because we're putting our feet on this and not on the shower base, which is usually wet after a shower. I've used mostly pine for all the structure. We had the structure, the counter and the bed made by some carpenters we knew. That was mostly pine, and this is basically just plywood. We are using rock wool for the insulation on the walls, with then this thin layer of plywood. On the ceiling we didn't have enough space for rock wool, so we're using this kind of rubber-based insulation. Success is questionable. The van doesn't keep warm as well as we'd like, but it's quite okay still. What else? Then we have here a fan, which is, if you're in hot countries, it becomes really useful when you're trying to sleep. USB sockets for charging our phones, night light, and a thermometer for inside and outside temperature. As you see, it's not so bad right now with almost 18 degrees here. And finally, I believe this is the end. We have here this top compartment where we keep all sorts of stuff, basically. And that's it. That's it. Oh, of course, we have a heater here, the Webasto that we were working on, which then the same water circulation system passes through here, which is then pushes hot air through here. It's an ongoing process. Hopefully we'll get it done for next winter. I think that's it. Thank you for watching.